All right, I'm not sure how long this thing takes to get going. I'm too tall for this camera. Um, Hopefully the neighbor's music is not going to be super noticeable because they just keep turning it up and turning it up, and I should just go ask them to turn it down, but we'll just figure it out. Anyway, I've got all these baskets over here I need planting, and I'm going to lower this so I can hopefully see good. So I'm going to be down on the ground. So I got this huge mess of baskets. I got a bunch of flowers, and I spent all morning bringing them to the other side of the house because I was going to do the video over there. So now I'm on this side of the house. So I might have to go back a couple of times and grab some more flowers. But probably start with the easiest. So try to do one basket at a time and kind of work our way around. So I'll bring it over there. Maybe if I set it on this chair. Let's see. Is that going to be tall enough? Nope, I got to lower that down just a little bit more. So lower this down. All right, I think that's going to work. So you'll both see the basket that I'm actually working on. So I've got this white color. So when I'm doing my flower baskets, I'm trying to figure out what colors are going to look good with this particular basket. I have baskets all around the house instead of planting in the flower beds. It's easier to maintain throughout the year. I don't have nearly as many weeds to pull. I'm going to see what colors. So pink would look really good in there. Purples, maybe some yellow. Hold on, we've got a couple more flowers. Can you still hear the neighbor's music? I'm hoping that I've got it blocked. Good enough. Anyway, so when I first start these baskets out, I'm going to look and see which flowers are going to look the best with it. So I'm trying to set them in. This basket I like to put geraniums in. Kind of like that red color. That pink color. So I want 2 or 3. Maybe those 2 colors with the yellow. So once I figure out what I'm going to use, this is the hardest part for me because I like them to look good. I don't want to overdo them. Some of my flowers, I'm not quite sure what the colors are all the way. Maybe that plus a white petunia, maybe. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm talking a little bit quiet. So geraniums can have either full sun or partial sun. They do like the sun though. The ones that I planted some in the shade last year underneath my tree, and they didn't do hardly. They didn't do well at all. It was just too cold. Take out some of this dirt. Good. You can hear me okay, and you can't hear the neighbor's music. All right, so I think we'll do a pink. Looks good. And a red with some white. I used to not ever mix my colors, my flower colors, but one year I just got busy and I just threw a bunch of stuff in the ground so that they wouldn't die. So I was gonna go out of town. When I came back, I'm like, oh, they look good just like that. It was just kind of random and sporadic. And the planting my flower pots, honestly, is the hardest for me. It's not hard, like physically hard, but visualization. I have to be like in a creative space and kind of think where I'm going to put things, which sounds really silly, but it is what it is. So I'm going to put one of those on that side. These clay pots are amazing. I have a store, a local grocery store. So this is probably this 3 gallon pot. I got it for $20 at a grocery store, and every single year they have these pots, and I look for them to go on sale or not sell. When I bring them into the store, they're just super cheap. I don't know if they know someone personally that makes them or what, but I really like it. All right. You can see where I sat. Oh, there it is. So I've got this red one. It's so these are all seeds that I actually harvested from last year. So as the seeds were starting to form, I just plucked them off. So I'm gonna get this in there. By the way, I hope you guys are having a good evening. I made pork chops and I experimented with them, and they didn't. I should just made them the way I normally make them because they were not that great. But I guess you live and learn. I know how everybody likes them. I should just stick with the old-fashioned, tried and true, breaded, fried in butter, um, with some garlic, salt and pepper. But no, I had to experiment. All right, I think I'm gonna put a white petunia here. I'm kind of sad it hasn't bloomed yet because you're not gonna be able to see how cute they are. So I'll have to take a picture, take you on a tour next week. I think Camelot's coming on pretty soon, so if anybody is going over to his show, thought I'd get started because he's usually not on time. I think I want to add one more. I'm gonna add one more flower to this. I'm gonna add some lobelia. It's kind of like a more of a fragile flower that blooms really good. I think that'll look good in here. So it'll mix up this red and pink. It's a little bit of bluish purple. It's more of a bluish plant. I think there's plenty of space in this pot for that. I didn't add any new dirt to my pots this year. It's all reused from last year. But every other year, I'll recycle the dirt out and add brand new potting mix. But this year I didn't. I'll be right back. All right, so these plants here are lobelia, and I actually grew these from seed, and there's a whole bunch of them there. If I wanted to, I could take those out, and if you see at the base, there's a bunch of shoots. So those are all individual flowers. So you could soak them with water. So if you were to ever buy these at, like, say, the nursery, you could soak them with water and separate the root systems, and you could have several different plants, and they would just kind of branch out. But I planted plenty of seeds because I like these flowers. They're just a good addition to different pots to kind of give it a little bit of a different color, but they're more of a gentle plant. And you can see where they're kind of brown right there. That is, I think those are from white flies. So after I get this planted, I'm actually going to take some neem seed oil that I already have pre-mixed in a sprayer. It's neem seed oil, organic. It's a herbicide. It's an antifungal, and it kills plants, but it does it more instant, right? So if you have larvae on a plant and you spray it directly, it'll kill them, and you can spray them every 3 to 5 days. So it's not something that if they were to crawl on, they're going to actually die. It'll just kill them more instantly, if that makes sense. So I'm going to kind of put that in the middle there. So we're going to have some white, pink, and this bluish color. And as the geraniums get bigger, they'll branch out and they'll fill out, and they'll add a lot of color and depth to this pot. So with the neem seed oil, if you have a big infestation of like aphids or white flies, spider mites, you'd want to mix the concentration heavier. So like 4.2 tablespoons for 1 gallon of water. For more of a lighter application, it's about 1 to 2 tablespoons. I'm going to use, my mixture is 2 tablespoons right now. I really want to stay on top of any bugs that are coming. And so can you see all this dirt on here? I'm going to make sure I rinse it off. There's not really a lot of fertilizer in these plants or in the soil, but I don't want it to get any kind of fertilizer burn right off the bat. So this is one of the pots I actually put out back by the pond. It's just really pretty. Go grab that neem seed oil. I thought I already had it back here. Give me one sec. And I'll show you what the neem seed oil looks like. So I already have it pre-mixed in this sprayer, and I always just have this sprayer handy. So if I'm out watering plants and I see bugs, I can just try to give them a quick spray. And I also have a bigger sprayer. I'll show you what it looks like. This is really handy. It's an ortho. I don't know if you can see the writing on there. It's dirty. So it's an ortho sprayer. And on the side right here, there's a dial, and it'll tell you, so you hook it up to your hose, and it has different settings, and it'll tell you like 1.5 tablespoons per gallon or 1 tablespoon per gallon. So you pour the neem seed oil directly into here, and that's what I'll spray like my my climbing ivy, because spiders like climbing ivy, white flies do, and so do mosquitoes. So if you get them ahead of time and stay on top of it, it's kind of nice. So that's what this is. That's the neem seed oil max. It's organic, so it's for organic gardening, and it kills aphids, borers, gypsy moth, spider mite, white flies, powdery mildew, and rust. So, and it does kill mosquitoes as well. I don't know why it's not on there, but probably because usually you spray mosquitoes in the air. But I use it for the mosquitoes hiding in my plants or in my climbing ivy. So I'm going to give these a quick spray, and then I'll move that one out of the way. You don't want to get this on the bees. So I only spray when I don't see any bees out and about. But it's more of a directed spray anyway. And most of the things that like to eat the plants are on the underside of leaves. They have to hide out, especially new foliage. But ever since I found that product, it's been really, really nice. Get this sucker out of the way. It's going to take me some muscles. And I'll actually set it in the wheelbarrow. And I'll use that to cart it to a spot. For a lot of the bigger pots too, I'll use a hand cart. Hi Snafu. Hi Cedar. How you guys doing? You've never heard of neem seed oil? I did a bunch of research a couple of years ago because I was really struggling with my aphids. So probably like 3 years ago, because I've used it now this is my 3rd year using it. And it has a really good, it has a citrusy smell, and it actually smells really, I like the smell of it. So when I spray it, so that's part of the reason why it keeps a lot of things away, but it kills the larvae. All right, what plant do I want to do next? Let's do, have to check to make sure that sometimes these pots don't have holes on the bottom. You want to make sure there's holes to drain out the water, because some pots, a lot of plants need to be drained, but this bottom piece should come off. And I always leave, like, why do you have all these old plants in there? Because sometimes they come back, certain ones. So I always just like to double check and see if there's some that are going to grow back. Like right now I can see, an infestation of bugs right now. So that means I'll just treat the soil right away. Should move the camera over there. Hold on. Let's see if you can see these bugs crawling around, and you can see them instantly die with this stuff. I'm pretty sure these are white flies. I'm not sure if you can see. There's a spider for sure. Look at that. Can you see those bugs? They look like white flies or maybe even aphids. Could you see those at all? Let me see if I can see. Oh yeah, you can see. So I'll just take that neem seed oil. And spray. So you can treat the soil as well, right? So a lot of bugs they already are in the soil a lot of times to kind of hatch. So I'm just going to spray the crap out of this. We're not liking this at all. Yeah, they're all just starting to, they're not liking. So this neem seed oil will not hurt your plants. I've used it on all of them. I'll spray the rocks with it. Like today, there was a bunch of spider mites outside, and the spider mites, they just eat everything, and they do it in like overnight. Spider mites are like these little red bugs, and they're so tiny. They're probably, like the size of a pin on top. Yeah, it's used a lot on a lot of things. I use it in my umbrella trees because they get some kind of fungus, and it keeps them. And that's actually how I found it. Is my tree was like the leaves would curl up and kind of turn brown, and so I didn't know what it was, and so I did a bunch of research, and it was bugs. So aphids, spider mites, white flies. They just, and mold. So mold is another thing those trees get, and so it was just struggling. And once I started using it, like the tree's probably grown 2 feet in 2 years, and it was like starting to die. Check out all these old. Looking to see if these bugs are dying yet. But I can still spray every 3 days. So I'm kind of stirring this up. kind of stir that. I honestly like the way it smells, especially after I spray the deck, the outside of the deck, and then sit outside. And this is just about ready to be refilled. But I had a bunch of larvae up on the inside of the deck, and I sprayed. They're already dying. Just on the back of those climbing ivy. All right, I think that one's good to go. I'll have to refill that sucker. Yes, do not spray them on bees. I usually, if I spray with my big sprayer, I spray at nighttime when the bees have already gone home. If I'm doing a directed spray where I'm just using that small thing there, 1 gallon sprayer, then I will, I'll do some during the day, but I don't do like the flowers. I'll just deck the stem and under the leaves. Let's see, what colors do I want in here? So this one goes underneath my tree. It's blue. I think yellow will go good with the blue pot. That's yellow. Let's see, white petunia. Or do I want orange? I think I want this orange one. This one will get bigger for the pot. So I'll put the orange one in the center. So I'll put one of these in the center, and I'll put those other flowers on the outside. My flower pots are never the same 2 years in a row. I always mix everything up. So if the roots are kind of bound like that, so that one's pretty bound. So I'm going to get it wet and gently stir it. I think it's, and just bit me. Dang it. So I'm going to separate that just so that there's something hard in there. That's weird. What is that? Part of it? Oh, there must be a piece of bark in there. So put this guy in the center, and I'll go through after I get them planted, and I'll cut off any leaves that aren't healthy. These have needed to be in the ground for a minute. So I'm gonna put that in the center because it'll get, this plant will get pretty bushy. That is called a Zahara sunburst. It's a zinnia. They do very well. They're very heat tolerant, and they do very good in areas where there's drought. So a lot of the flowers I plant are plants that do well with drought most of the time, because, and the heat. I don't know if you guys know that with petunias, say when the flowers start to get bigger, here, let me turn that just a touch. Moved it, I guess. So as these grow out and they start to die, if you'll pinch them back, clear back at the stem right there, you'll keep them flowering longer because you're making them think that they haven't reproduced, and so they just keep on spreading. So there's different kinds of petunias too. There's ivy, or is that ivy? I think that's the word, ivy, or ivy. I think they're ivy. What they do is they actually spread out more, and those are the ones that hang. These ones are not that kind. This kind are actually, they're called wave petunias. And these are just the regular, the pretty grand. So they'll just get bushy and full, but they won't get super long and drop down. And in some of these, if I decide I want to have, like, say, some pansies or snapdragons in any of these baskets, I'll just go out into the garden where I have a bunch of plants that I've transplanted and moved around. So I definitely always have that option. I'm actually going to move the yellow one more to the other side. I was going to put that in the middle, but I think it'll look better just to kind of space it out. So I'm being careful as I'm digging that up. So planting your flower pots, which is, I think I explained this last time we started planting stuff, it's all about what you like. Like, if you go through, you can get ideas and be like, oh, that looks really good together. But colors, plants, your garden and your yard should be all about you and your taste, not what every Tom, Dick, and Harry thinks it should be. Like, just be you and make it individual. So I checked on our pumpkins. There's only a couple of them that are trying to go into any kind of stress, but they're still doing pretty good. So I think that's all I'm going to put in that particular plant. Like I said, I could always add something later if the need arises, or if I feel like it's not enough. But I don't like to either overplant either. I like it to have some color and variety, but I don't like it to be so overwhelming. My goodness, these are heavy once you water them. I think my neighbor, go figure, he finally turned off his music. Let's see. So in my head too, I'm thinking where at in my yard. I have a big tree out front, so I usually have 3 baskets under that tree, and then I'm walking into the house. There's a couple ledges with bark, and so I'll put black baskets there. So I'm thinking of where I've got them to where the colors are going to blend but look good. So this one's going to go in the front near the faucet. You're going to want some orangish, peachish color in here. Oh, here it is. So I'm going to take this colored plant, and this will get pretty full. So I'll put this in there, and I'll put that with some lobelia. So we'll make this one pretty simple. And I watered this really good earlier. So I don't know if I showed you guys earlier. I reuse the outsides of these, but it's really hard to keep the moisture in. So I went through and I got garbage bags and I cut them and I lined the basket, the inside of the basket with it. And then I cut holes in the bottom of the plastic so the water will still drain. And it also makes it so the outside of those baskets don't go that as quickly. They need to be replaced, well, as they wear out. And it's about 3, I think that one right there is about 3 years. So next year I'll have to replace it. So I'll start watching for them to go on sale throughout the year. And then I'll just get them and store them. So those are going to kind of fall. Just going to move that dirt fall away without the roots coming off with it. I want it to come down just a little bit. When you're doing plants, you want to be really, really careful to not break the main roots. These little tiny hairs, you can break off a little bit, but you do not want to break the main root. So this plant is a New Guinea impatient, and it does well in, so it's bred So it's like they crossbred it so that it would tolerate the heat more. So this plant does a lot, is really good with the heat temperatures, and it will tolerate like the shade or the sun, but does need to get at least some part sun. So put that there. Oh, actually, I might put a yellow, I think a yellow in there with a lobelia plant. And these definitely were in there too long. And these, ooh, that smells really good. These are like petunias. If you deadhead them, so deadheading is where you'll go through and you'll cut that little piece off. So as they start to die, if you deadhead your flowers, they will keep producing more and get more bushy. Try to separate these out just a little bit. That one's pretty bound. So you get it wet with the hose. See if we can unwind those just a little bit. They're pretty, huh? Those birds. I get, like the other day, I think it was, I did a short video, but it was raining and I didn't think I could do a stream outside and get everything in when it started to rain. So I was recording the rainstorm and you could hear that when I went to replay it, I could hear all the ducks, the geese, and what else was out there? And just, yeah, the birds and the wind. It was pretty cool. I'm going to upload that video one of these days. I'm not loving, don't think I love that color or that plant with that. So I'm just going to switch that out. I think I want a yellow petunia in there with one of those. And I have like 10 of these lobelia plants because I seeded so many of them. Now what are these? So that one's coming a lot better. It's not quite as bound. Separating the roots just allows them to branch out. When they're bound like that, sometimes it stunts their growth. Also, after I get these all planted, someone put a peanut in there. Oh my goodness. I'll go through and I'll actually water all these with Epsom salt. Just like I do with the soil for when I plant my tomato plants or my other plants. It's 1 tablespoon of Epsom salt per 1 gallon of water. And it can make the soil alkali. So I'll actually mix in some coffee grains with it, and it won't be pre-brewed. It won't be brewed coffee grains. It'll just be raw coffee grains, and not a lot of them. I'll just sprinkle a little bit on the soil. So that those two should balance each other out. Ooh, I'm liking this basket. This basket's cute. So I've got yellow petunia, and I've got New Guinea impatient and lobelia. Yeah, I'm liking those colors a lot together. What do you think of that one? That one's pretty. I like that one. Trying to think. So my brain's going. I'm in creative mode. Can we just go put this on the side of the house real quick? Be right back. My legs are so dirty. Oh, I can't wait to take a shower. All right, so these are some coleus plants. I'm gonna do a basket with these. These plants like a lot to the soil to drain, and so make sure you have a pot that has good drainage. They do not like full sun, so it can be they tolerate some like partial light throughout the day, but if they are left in the hot sun, it actually takes the pigmentation and lightens the plant, and they'll get pretty big. And as they grow out, they'll start to flower or seed. Yeah, it's like a little flower they'll send out. And you want to go down. Wish I had one to show you. They're kind of like basil, where they'll send up a shoot. So you'll go down, and you'll just trim down beneath there, and it'll cause it to kind of bush out. Our growing season. So I always plant I always use my growing season as my tomatoes. I always plant the third week in June or the last week in June, depending if there's going to be a last minute freeze. So June, there's a lot of things you can start. So I guess it depends on the food. So tomatoes, best for them is from end of mid-May through October. And sometimes they'll stay till November, depending on when it decides to freeze. Like carrots could get in the ground anywhere from end of March through June. I think that's what carrots are. Peas do better and like start planting them in March, and then you can plant them every 2 weeks. I didn't do that this year because it snowed so long this year. So 120 days. Let's see. So June, July, August, 30, 60, 90, 120. June, July, August, September. So about 120, just a little more than 120 days, depending on certain vegetables and certain fruits. So that's why a lot of things you have to start inside. So it's not a super long growing season, but it's not super short. And I guess to answer your question, it depends on what things you're going to plant. Like watermelon, like I can grow watermelons and they'll do really well even from seed. But you have to have 120 days of temperatures that are 70 or higher. Hope I answered your question. That was a big ramble. And to be honest, I've never thought of it in days. If that makes sense. I'm trying to see what pot I want to put this in. So these will do better when these bigger pots. I don't like the way that color looks. Oh, I like this blue pot. So my plants are always coordinated with my pots. Trying to see if the color looks good. And this one I like with that. But I kind of want to put that one by the pond, like in the front. So the pond's just about done. We're missing a part, or not a part, but one of the parts broke on the filter. And so the upper pond's all the way done. And the stream has water sitting in it to make sure there's no leaks or anything that I need to patch, because I don't want the water just going into the ground. So right here, I'm going to dig this up. If you can see that right there. That's a petunia that grew from seed from last year. And if I remember right, this is one of my favorite colors of petunia. And I didn't harvest their seeds last year, this color that I like. It's hard for me to find it. It's like kind of like a salmon color, but not quite salmon. I don't know. It's a really different color. So I'm going to transplant it in another pot, and hopefully it will grow, and then I can harvest the seeds from it. So once you start to know what, if you ever grow anything from seed and you pay attention to what they look like as seedlings, if you're out like pulling weeds or doing anything like that, you'll know what they look like, and you can either transplant them or or you can wait for them to get a little bit bigger and then move them later, or you can leave them right where they are. Like my snapdragons, I've transplanted I don't know how many snapdragons this year, and petunias or pansies, not so many petunias. That's my first petunia I found, but I'm pretty sure it's a color I like. So that you can see what a petunia would look like if I were to plant it from seed with this climate. It's not very big. It probably won't flower till, let's see, it's June, mid-June. It won't flower till maybe end of July, September. Kind of like that there. This plant's not too root bound. Has anyone seen Julian in chat today? I hope he's having a good day. Either chat, locals, or anywhere. So this plant will get pretty bushy, just this one plant, especially if I keep it trimmed back. In the past, I've planted other flowers in with it, but you can't really see them because it gets too big. So I bought these plants at the nursery. I usually seed them, but for whatever reason, none of my seeds germinated. And I usually have so many of these that grow that I have to throw some away. So I bought these, I think in 1st of April, end of March. You can tell this one's been in the sun a little bit because it's kind of less than this pigmentation. It's the ones that are underneath. I don't know if you can see. Hopefully we're not losing sunlight. But you can see underneath, they're a lot more brighter. So the sun's not horrible for them, but if they're in the shade, they'll be more vibrant in color, from my experience. This is one of those plants that I'll put by my back porch so that my dog will have a landing point. So it's been hard throughout the winter when the plants die. I probably just need to buy a fake one, but he'll rub his nose against the plants and then he'll know where the stairs are. So one of these will go down by the stairs. Hi, Mike. How are you? I don't know how long you've been here, but we had some fun with some cute plants. So this one's done. I'm not going to water it all the way yet because it's pretty heavy. Okay, I'm coming right back, guys. All right, so here's a clay pot. Plants do really good in clay pots, but they don't hold up quite as well. So this clay pot's only a couple years old and it's starting to break down because it's just nature. But that's okay, but I'll use it until I can't. But plants like the clay. This one I've got 3 petunias in here that are growing from seed. So I might leave those in there. I think I might want a pansy. I need some different color. I think I need some purple. So I'm going to go dig one out of the ground from out back. And I'm looking for bugs like I did in that other plant, and I haven't seen any. There shouldn't be clay in here, but it looks like it. I didn't mix any of this dirt with anything. That's weird. Oh, because I had pansies in here. That's why there's clay in there, because of the dirt I have from out back. Such a pain. Sally doing pot. I just caught what you just said. Yes, I'm dense sometimes. Hey, I don't know if you can see me if I go out back. Not going far. So that's why I transplant or move my pansies around. Because look at that. Looks good. A couple of weeds in there. Got some potato bugs in there. Let's see if we can knock some of them out. Don't want them in there. All right. For a second, that is a pumpkin seed. Like, that looks like a pumpkin seed in there. That's a pumpkin seed. I don't want that germinating in this pot. I'll take that right out. Now you know I had clay in here. As I water it later and it starts to break down, I'll try to dig some of it out and mix it up. All right, so I've got some petunias in there. What color is the liquid with that? So the pansies will get nice and big. And if you can see right now, they're already starting to go to seed. So I'm actually going to pick those off. So that's another way to make sure that they don't die down. So I'll pick off the seeds. Later in the year, I'll just let the seed pots fall, and they'll just send out new ones. The trick to getting flowers to keep growing is to trick them into not thinking they haven't reproduced yet. Let me dig these petunias up so I know where they're at from the same side. Let's see. So I've got that. I'm going to use one of these yellow things. So these are disco yellow marigolds. Supposedly they're supposed to keep the bugs down. People do pop pumpkins. It's really weird. Like, I was driving around. I was supposed to come home from 7-Eleven the other day. I saw a bunch of people with like squash and pumpkins and stuff in a pot. I don't think they look as healthy, but that's just me. Yeah, we're gonna do like a rainbow color in this one because I can. So like that one's, well, that's not too bad. I'd have to get that one wet. Sound like there's a mouse under the house. I just discovered on the computer. Let's see, where's my camera? It's not using that. It's using this camera, right? Yeah, okay. I just discovered that when you have your camera facing forward, you can actually turn it to mirror image. So I've been struggling with it because as I look in there, I feel like everything's backwards and twisted, and it's like was weird. And I was playing around with it. I'm like, oh, I can put it on mirror image, and then I know I don't have to move opposite. Such a nerd. All right. So there's those three. And then I think I'm going to put a white vinca right here. I'm actually going to move these petunias to a different pot. And maybe I'll bring them inside until they're bigger for now. The things you learn. I'm like, what's mirror image? And I push the button. I'm like, oh, that makes it so I'm not opposite. So I have white vincas and I have pink vincas. Might put a pink vinca on this side and a white vinca on the other side. Vincas do really well with the heat. They look a lot like impatiens. Impatiens don't like, they do better in the spring. They don't like the hot, hot, hot. So if you do, you need to have them in the shadier area of the garden. But these impatiens do really well and they get pretty big too. These vincas are like, they're probably one of my favorite flowers. Like they can get pretty bushy. And I'm going to put a white one right here. I really dislike that clay. I'm hoping I can break it apart a little bit. And this particular brand is, or this pink and white like that is so that was called Pacifica Polka Dot. It's kind of cute. And I'm going to get a little bit wet. Ooh, that looks cute. Yay. Can you see that? I'll bring the camera over because that's a cute one too. I like that color mixture. Here, look at this. Let's see. Can you see it? It's pretty cool looking. So that one is that's a vinca, pansies, a petunia, and a marigold. I'm gonna bring this right back. Oh, this one's gonna be heavy. I can already tell you that. Hold on. I have to use those legs. Put it all over on the ground. I'm so excited. dude, a hornet just tried to get me. Had my glove on. He literally just tried to bite my glove. Jerks. All right, we've got. This is where, let's see. So I've got wax begonias. I haven't decided if I want to put these in a pot or in the ground. They get quite big. So they attract the bees. And I think hummingbirds like them as well. I feel like a nice big flower on them. I should have had some preloaded pictures I could show you what they look like with our flower. So these are wax begonias. They're a tuber. You can plant them from seed, but they're also tuberous. So if you get them pulled in time, you can put them up for the winter and plant their tubes. And it doesn't take them as long. So I planted these clear back in mid-February, but they'll get really big. And these do really good for me with just partial sun. When I've had them in the open, they just seem to dry out a lot and not be as bright. Let's see. Kind of liking these two colors. So I haven't decided. I might put these ones. I don't know if we should do a big pot of them in the ground. I might put these in the ground over by the garden. Put these back. This is always my dilemma of where I want to plant things. I really wish some of these flowers were flowering already. This one's just about to flower. I don't like putting geraniums in a small container. They do better in a bigger container. Thinking. Okay. Might go find me a patch of snapdragons. See if I got some. So this is a new pot that I got from the grocery store. This pot was 20 bucks and it's huge. It's an egg-shaped pot. And the store by my house, they get them every year. I don't know why I'm losing my voice today. But I almost just want to buy a whole bunch of them and store them up. Let's put some fresh soil in here today, so this is really dry. So I think like some snapdragons would look good with this color of the outside. If I don't get all these done tonight, I'll at least take you on a tour. And well, shoot, I don't know if I can. I just realized that's the one thing about not having my cell phone. I can take you around. What I'll do is I'll go take a picture of them and I'll post them. They look like. I don't know if you guys have ever potted plants or anything like that. I wear gloves for some reason. I mean, there's fertilizers in the soil. I mean, this is Miracle-Gro soil, and so there's fertilizer in there. And I'll get sick from planting plants. So because the stuff absorbs through your skin. So I always make sure I have some kind of a glove on. Like I might say sick, like nauseous, exhausted, and I almost can taste it through my mouth, which is really weird. And no, I don't eat dirt. All right, one for the bag of soil. Gotta go get some more dirt. Hopefully there's gonna be enough in there. I might have to go buy some more dirt. Dang it. So that's the only thing I don't like about with my cell phone. It's nice to have the computer. I don't have to worry about the signal dropping, but I can take you around and show you where I'm grabbing flowers from. Don't know what color I want in there. Hold on. Coming right back. I'm gonna go see what snapdragons I have out there. There's only one of them that's bloomed so far, and it's underneath the place where I can't really get it. So, not quite sure what to do next. I don't know what color this is going to be, but this one looks nice and healthy. Let's put a geranium in there. I wonder if I want one or two. I should have knew what color this was. Well, we're just going to do neutral. So whatever this color ends up being, I'll just put like white in here. We'll look good with it. So these, like once I said it earlier, these are all things that I grew from seed. So maybe I'll do a geranium, and then kind of put it off to the side there. I'm gonna do white petunia because it'll be neutral. I've got quite a bit of lobelia left, so. Here's a white one. So we got this white. This one's a white one. You can tell by the tip of the color, the tip of the flower that's starting to come off. So put the petunia off to the side. I'll put the Lobelia right here. That looks good. So this size of a Lobelia plant, if I were to buy it in the store, would be about $5 to $10 just for that size. If I grow it from seed, I got a pack of the seeds for $3. And I got, I think 10 plants. And I've got some dirt from these leftover pots from last year, but still from, because I don't want to use the clay dirt. I was just looking at the camera, looking at my yard sale behind my house. Got the lawnmower out, got the pump out for the pond for draining it, shoes. All right, so I think we'll do like 5 more minutes and I'll finish these up and then I'll send you guys a picture of them. All right, I wish I knew what color this was going to be. It'd be a lot funner to see the results of it. It'll be a surprise basket. All right, so I've got 4 pots left. And since I still have my neighbors blaring their music on the other side of the house, which I blocked by closing the deck door. So we'll plant the stuff by the pond because I think my tiger lilies, they're going to bloom in like 1 or 2 days. And I want to have the rest of the flowers out by there. So I'm going to figure out, I don't know if people are still in here or not, but we're going to watch Smile on Twitch tonight. I haven't decided on the time yet. It'll depend on people who are streaming. So we'll watch it on Twitch at Sally P78 on Twitch. If you want to come join us. If you don't have Amazon Prime, you can find it somewhere else. You can still come chat in Twitch and watch it somewhere else. And I'll rinse all those leaves off. Oh, all right, I'm gonna let you guys go. Appreciate you coming and saying hi. Um, is that Ciro's? Yeah, the music upstairs. It's actually really loud on the other side of the house. Um, I'm going to keep going, Cedar. I just thought you guys had left chat. Um, yeah, I had to close the barn door upstairs. So when I walk to the other side of the house, it's really loud. Anyway, actually, I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna finish these plants, and then I'll take a picture of it, and maybe I'll do like a short little. Oh, you're here too? Okay, I'll keep planning. If you guys are having fun and enjoying yourself, then I'll stay. So I'm gonna finish this regardless. Really want to get my pond done, but my neighbors. Before, when I first moved in here, we used to sleep outside. I'd bring a mattress out and I'd lay it on the grass, and I would sleep outside at night because I love sleeping outside. And then the neighbors built. Oh, my camera's all jacked. It's over here. Hold on. I'm so used to the computer being my camera. They built a deck above the fence, so now we can't just go sit back by the pond and hang out. Like, that's what we built it to relax up there. And their kids are like 8 and 6. They're darling, but it's like, that privacy's gone. It's no longer private. We probably want to put it somewhere else. Let's see. This one's going to go underneath the front tree. So it's going to be shaded. So I need shade plants in here. So probably petunias will do well in the shade. Maybe let's do a pot with just petunias. Just do a couple different colors. That's weird. That first plant's the only one that I saw all those weird bugs in there. I think they are whiteflies and some aphids. We'll do a patriotic plant. So I'll do 4 of these. I'll do a white, we'll do a purple, and a yellow. This one's completely dry. And I'm not breaking these roots, I'm just loosening them up. I've seen people be really rough. I'm sure it's not going to be the end of the world, but these are starting to look pretty sad. These definitely need to get out of these containers. In the store, these looked more red, but they now look more pinkish to me. That's pretty dry too. Just about knocked that table over. Oh, I should have staggered these different. I need to stagger those different. I'll put the pink and purple opposite, and then the white and yellow opposite. So I think I said this earlier, but petunias, aphids love petunias, and they like to hide on the underside of the plants, like down there. And so you'll want to watch for those, like when you water them. As soon as you start seeing their little eggs, if you get them under control right away, you won't have an issue with them. And then you just spray that neem seed oil mixture on them. I must have got the bag of when I planted these. Well, what saved the world? I think they will. I guarantee they will. Oh, beauty will save the world. I did not hear what you said. I think beauty does save the world. I think people. I don't know. To me, having a nice yard that I take care of myself, for me, it's more of a pride thing, and it's not like pride like in like snooty pride. I don't know if there's a difference, but it's more of being proud of doing something and making something look nice. Like you can control if your yard looks nice, you can control certain things. That's one of them. And so it's kind of like, I don't know, a lot of people who don't have a lot, you can still have a nice yard, you can still have a mowed yard. It's all about your desire and your willingness to have your spaces be the best that they can be with the effort you can give. But I don't know, it just seems like growing up not having a lot of money, my mom we always had a garden, and she always picked flowers. She'd always save for flowers, and she'd buy flowers that they were the most different. They were the most different type of flowers. It's kind of hard to explain, but she liked the uniqueness of her yard. But they were always so pretty, and it was always weeded. It was always, but she could control that. She can control her space. Sorry, I didn't like the angle of the camera. I didn't feel like I was looking at you. I keep looking at the computer because I'm used to streaming, and the camera's over here. So when I'm talking, it's like, anyway. So this one's done. And hi, DL Mentors, by the way. So that's just going to be a petunia basket. All right. Okay. I was setting them all to the side, but if I don't put all the baskets, start putting baskets where they go, it's going to be a long night trying to get them put back. All right. Let's see. I'm trying to think what other pots I have. Sometimes I think I have to, sometimes I start to think I have way too many pots. Like this one's one. So this is an example of a plant that I didn't pull the weeds out of, and it actually grew pansies from seed. So now I'll take the other stuff in there that's not good. And I don't know if these ones are going to seed yet. We're about ready to start going to seed. Oh my goodness. I'm being careful because I don't want to pull roots of other things out in there. This is true. I agree with that, Kyle. Normally I would just pull this out, just making sure it's not attached to that other plant. These plants don't really need mulch, so I'm going to take those leaves. Let's see what plant I want in here. Got 4 pink vincas left. I think a vinca. I wish a geranium would do well in here, but I don't think this pot's big enough to sustain it. I could try. I could experiment. Let's see. A pink vinca I think would look good. Let's see. Pink. I think pink would look good with that. Can you guys hear that music right now? It just got super loud again. I might ask them to turn down just a smidge. Oh, now it's not as loud. So these vincas actually will get really bushy if you deadhead the flowers. I think I like that. Ooh, I like that color too. That's going to be cute. I want to put one more thing in there. Have to put another pansy on the other side. I'm actually going to look and see how big they get. Okay, come right back. Don't leave. was trying to figure out who was playing music. I don't know who's playing music. I don't. It wasn't the neighbors because they're playing rock or hip hop or something. So if it comes back on, I might have to. Rude. Who would have thunk that people want to enjoy their Saturday night with some music outside, huh? Hi, Mofo, by the way. How you doing? Has Nick not been in chat yet? I've been busy today. No clue. After a while, all these planters start to look the same. I want them to look different. Hold on. Don't know who's playing music, and my goodness, it's pissing me off. I think it's like 4 houses up the street. All right, guys, I'm gonna let you go. We're gonna watch a movie on Twitch again. Like I said, I've got only like 3 pots left. It's Sally78 or Sally P78 on Twitch. We're gonna watch Smile, and then we'll just see how the night goes. Might watch a second one. Not sure yet. But people keep playing the music right now. It's kind of a pain. So we'll let you go. I hope you all have a good night. I can't tell. I need to move my camera because I can't tell if I'm looking at you or I'm special. I'm gonna get this one day, guys. I have it by the computer. Anyway, have a good night, Kyle, Mofo, everybody else, Cedar Rose, DL Mentors. Thank you guys for showing up. I'll take a picture and post it on my YouTube when I get them all done. So I will see you soon. Come hang out for a movie if you want later. And yes, I'm filthy dirty. This is what I look like when I do garden. I've got dirt everywhere. All right, ending broadcast. Bye, y'all.